Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. How is everyone doing here? I hope everyone is actually doing really good today here because in today's video we're going to be reacting to another video in my in the second channel here. This time we're going to be doing yet again another History Matters video here, but this time we're going to be reacting to another, which is a history topic, which is about the Crusades here. So this question is about, did the Ethiopians or like the Nubians join the Crusades? Now, to those of you guys who don't know, like basically what the Crusades are here, there's a total I think of 8 crusades, and they're basically a series of like basically many Christian knights here who basically wanted to reconquer like basically all the lands and like the cities that were including Jerusalem, that was basically taken back from like many of like the Muslim leaders here, to retake them and to retake the like basically many of the holy sites, including the Holy Land, which is Jerusalem here, and added it into their Christian kingdom to fight against the Muslims here, and that's what and to like basically regain their power, strength there, and as well as also to actually like basically I get access to trade here, and also to open like basically to regain their Christian territories as well here. So that's what basically this whole series is like pretty much about here, and we're gonna be reacting to this video here. So just in short here. So and so this is another 3 minute 290 video here, and yeah, if you guys want to like to watch more videos like this, and then what are you waiting for? Please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, don't forget to comment and turn on the bell notifications, that way you get notified by every video that I'll be posting to the channel. And yeah, no, let's just get right into the video. All right, here we go. Let's get started.
We think of kings, knights, and peasants from places like
Right.
France, England, and the Holy Roman Empire marching to the Holy Land to reach.
Right, before we get into also in the video, I might just gonna also, like I do before here, I might just like basically pause every part of the video here and just to tell you guys of what I found like interesting, or what is really cool in the video, or like to bring in another facts and whatnot here.
Take important Christian cities. But during the time of the Crusades, to the south of the
From
Ayyubid
1094,
Sultanates sat the Nubian Christian kingdoms of Dotawo and Arua, and to their south was Ethiopia. It won't surprise you to know that these kingdoms also didn't get along with their Islamic neighbours, which raises an obvious question.
Yeah.
When the Crusades kicked off, did they get involved? Did these African kingdoms take part in the Crusades? So, when the First Crusade was called, the Christians of Europe knew very little about those in Africa.
Yep.
Christians from Nubia, Ethiopia, and Arabia had travelled to the Holy Land on pilgrimages. However, these were just seen as individual Christians, not as representatives of potential allies. In fact, the Crusaders just saw Africans as subjects of the Ayyubids. And even after the First Crusade had conquered Jerusalem, contact between the two groups was rare. It was during the Third Crusade that the relationship between Europeans and Nubians began to flourish, and the Crusaders started to realise that unlike their fellow Coptics in Egypt, these Christians were free of Muslim oversight, and thus were a potential ally. And the Ayyubids desperately tried to stop this relationship from blossoming.
Right, okay then, so that is actually really interesting here. So like so basically, like, you know, after like when the Christian knights had basically had reconquered all like the other cities like Antioch and then later Jerusalem in 1099 here, the Nubians didn't like basically at first they didn't like have like any communication or like basically any contact with the Christian knights there, and so until then when they reached them back here from, like, this was because they didn't reach them back from before, but now now they started to meet each other again, and they sought to become like to be allies here, because of like also that they basically have like a common enemy with that by that period here. I believe it was which were the Muslims here, which were because before the Crusades like is like Islamic empires such as like the Seljuk Empire here, which had conquered from like basically from Central Asia to all the way to the Mississippi, and also reaching almost into to Europe and parts of the bits of Africa here until like when the 12th and 1092 when the Sultan Sumat Shah had died here, and and his empire had started to fracture here, and that the Byzantine Empire also had troubles with like basically with the Muslims here, since they were defeated in the Battle of Manzikert here, and until they were retreated back, and they were asking Pope Urban II here of France to like basically come to like basically an aid here and ask for help for the crusade and to regain their lost territories here, and ask for alliance here, in which Pope Urban II then announced a council here, and to say that God wills it here, and that they would join with the Byzantines and fight the Muslims. But before that, there was also Peter the Hermit here, who led his big group of people, Christians, known as the People's Crusades, which they believed they could retake the Holy Land. But unfortunately, they were then caught and then executed. This was all way before then, like not until the First Crusade started in 1095. So that's another thing I want to share out, just as like a background when how the First Crusade has started here. Okay.
This was mostly because its leaders were worried about the two uniting and attacking from both sides, which was fairly logical because as the Third Crusade was ongoing, this is exactly what happened. Whilst Richard the Lionheart was doing his thing, King Moses, who had briefly united
Right, and what he means by this, with King Richard the Lionheart, when he was a part of his crusades here, besides before other nights when they conquered Jerusalem, he was also basically supplying of many of his troops and supplies here from basically from support to his knights from this Christian occupied territory from Cyprus here, until to give aid to their knights here to still fight against to the Muslims here, to prepare them for invasion of many Christian cities, including Jerusalem.
Right. Tuo and Arua invaded Egypt. Saladin retaliated but wasn't able to strike a killing blow because every time he invaded, the Crusaders in the north would attack. This wasn't coordinated or anything, it's just that whenever troops had to move away to deal with the other threat, it presented an opportunity to invade. Beyond this though, there isn't any evidence to suggest that African Christians were fighting in the Crusades proper in any great numbers. Just that the two groups were growing ever more aware of each other by contact in Jerusalem. It was the Fifth Crusade which saw the height of European hopes with respect to African Christians. When the Crusaders landed in Egypt, there was a hope that a major Nubian army would march north. They'd then conquer Egypt together before turning their collective attention to the Holy Land. Slight hiccup with this plan though, the Nubians weren't aware of any of this and so obviously couldn't act on it. The help didn't come, the Crusaders were defeated, and contact between the two groups came to a near halt when Jerusalem fell again in 1244.
Okay, so alright, so that's interesting here. So also another good point that he's making here. So basically he's kind of explaining, because they thought they would make a plan to basically join an alliance with the Nubians and or the Ethiopians here, because they thought basically they would have then worked together to conquer north into Egypt and then retake all the lands, including the Holy Land, but the slight hiccup is that they didn't because the Ethiopians and then they were just basically ignoring this, and they were not aware of this plan though here, and so that's why the Crusades did not basically get any support here, and so that's why the help that they did not get any support here. They were then outmaneuvered with low on wet supplies here, and they were defeated by the Muslims here until then, in 1204 here. That's where they failed to that's where the Crusades basically sacked Constantinople here, because I think the main reason why they sacked Constantinople, the Christian Crusade Knights, is because basically the Byzantine Emperor had basically Constantine the 12th had basically basically told them that that they are not that he's basically refusing them to like basically give the Crusades Christian knights to give them any money to for their tribute of like of their glory and their quests in throughout the Middle East here, and that which angered them, and that's why they sacked the city here. Okay, let's continue.
And after this, the Ayyubids soon turned their full attention to Dotawo, which fractured and converted several decades later. Arua fell the next century to an invasion from Arabia and also converted soon afterwards. Some fled from these kingdoms and ended up in Cyprus, which left only Ethiopia. Again, Christians had little idea of where it actually was, or even if it existed at all, which meant that said relationship went nowhere, at least until Europeans returned to the continent in the 19th century, with one notable exception. In the mid-15th century, there was an attempt to reunite the Western and Eastern churches. During these discussions, the Pope invited Christians from all over the world to Florence to attend the meeting, and the idea of both attacking the Ottomans at the same time was put forward. The plan was to retake the Holy Land and restore the Byzantines, but this obviously didn't happen, mostly because the Ethiopian kingdom at this time was much smaller than the Christians thought it was.
Okay,
and with this
much
being a
smaller
no-go,
and
it marked
weaker
an end
and
to
not like so that basically means that so that basically means that the Nubians and like that they would not go up with this plan here to like reconquer the Holy Land and bring back the Byzantine Empire, mostly because of like how small they are. So like basically that they don't have like probably that they don't have enough effective like of a military force, or just a weaker economy, or just a or it's just like we say more like government like kind of government here, and it's also probably good, and also other interest is that they were just not interested in this plan by that point here.
Crusades and any potential African involvement with them. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Okay, yeah, all right. That was basically about it. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that was actually about it there. I hope you guys basically enjoyed the video here. I actually find this video actually still really interesting, and still find his videos in his channel pretty new here. Yeah, so I hope you guys basically enjoyed the video here. Please let me know. Please, what are your what are your guys' thoughts here? What do you also think here? Did the Ethiopians or the Nubians, did they also actually fight also in the Crusades here? Or did they not here? Or did they just ignore and were not interested in fighting with the Christian knights against the Muslims here? Let me know of your guys' ideas also in the comment section down below. Please also comment if I just basically missed anything here, and yeah, so but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video here, and yeah, no, but this was actually it's a really, really fun and a really informative, educational, and fun video here. It's very interesting. I actually enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll probably maybe plan on still maybe watching more history channels like this. And one thing I think I would definitely find it very interesting, like in this video specifically, I would but I mean, yeah, it's just that the fact that like because of like the Nubians that were not, because they were not involved that much involved into any of these crusades here, that way the Crusades did not get any reinforcements or any support here, because of how much they were not aware to any of the Christian plans here, or that they were simply just not interested in, which I thought was actually kind of really interesting here a bit here. But I would also say, like, after when the Christian Crusades had conquered the sacked Constantinople here, because all the other Crusades here had basically that the Christians had kept trying to reconquer the territory into the Christian lands, but every time they also still keep like losing to against like to many of the Muslims throughout like the 1210s and the 1230s here, and then and that they sometimes wanted to conquer lands like Jerusalem, Antioch, and some parts of the Middle East, and parts of Antioch, and so much others here, but they still did not get a strong military, and that the Muslims they always repel in many of their attacks here by different Muslim states here. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But please do let me know if you missed anything or write something interesting what you find in the video. But I think that's basically the time about it here. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you guys did, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new. Don't forget to comment and turn on the bell notifications. That way you get notified by every video that I'll be posting in the channel here. And yeah, no here, and I'll probably make more videos like this here. Maybe I'll probably maybe also maybe may plan on like making more videos. Also probably maybe more about the Crusades, also including maybe in this channel as well. So I mean, some point like as like more as a future video, and yeah. So I'll see you guys in my next video. So Mr. Aaron's out. Peace.